Hello everybody, welcome to Saturday's video. This is going to be one that focuses on 4 sections, which will be my current frustrations, Kabam's response to Act 7, problems with reporting and gathering communities feedback in general, and as well the final thing is improvements. If I've said them all in the right order, I may have repeated myself, but I've got time codes, and as well I'm going to be reading off a lot of my notes, and the reason being I just don't want anything taken out of context, and I want to be clear obviously in a lot of stuff that I'm trying to say, just so that there's no kind of misinterpretation of how I'm feeling, and as well maybe things that I've said in a certain way that other people may see that I'm saying something completely different. Now this Saturday I've watched a lot of content. In particular I've been watching a little bit of Brian Grant, KT1, Katie Candy, you name it. I've probably seen something or kind of gathered ideas from as to where people are feeling towards stuff from a content creator perspective, and as well I've been going through a lot of the general game feedback section, but obviously I'm very choosy about, you know, some of the stuff. I kind of gather an idea of where people think, because the problem is, even though Seaton's video was very specific on the stuff that he doesn't like about the game, and whether or not people were going, look, this is the consensus, it's a case that everybody has their own thing that they have a grievance with Kabam and Marvel Contest of Champions in general. So it's very difficult to get the scheme of what's the problems and how to kind of put it in the correct way. Now I just want to be clear and kick off something to clarify a point. So it was mentioned, and obviously many people commented on the fact that I said that everybody was happy with the game up until the point the video is released. And obviously it's just to point out this fact. If you go to the forum, as well as the Line app, comment sections, live stream chat, right the way through to Reddit, Discord, and many other places, a lot of the things that have been brought out the woodwork are things that people must have been complaining about in secret or being very unhappy about, and then it's the case that after this has been mentioned that everybody obviously is then going to the point of mentioning stuff. So that's what I'm pointing out. The case of affairs with it being rather quiet on the subject of people's unhappiness, to then to the point of going, right, well, obviously everybody has now got a grievance with something that they have kept secret. So from me looking at this now, is just going like, okay, so people are obviously happy with the game to a degree, when in actuality they haven't been, and obviously have been going along with the fact of going, look, well, we begrudgingly have to do Alliance Quest and it's boring, Alliance Wars and it's boring, and other stuff. And obviously, just to be completely clear, I've been vocal about stuff that I don't like Alliance Wars, and that's why I left my alliance for 1 month, because I didn't like those things. Should I have been more vocal about it? Yeah. Would people have then maybe kind of gone to the forums and go, hey, RichTheMan's got a point here? I don't know. I really don't know. I can't guess that. But obviously, I apologise to anybody that I maybe guessed that were more happier with the game than they were. And obviously next time I'll do better to find what the correct feeling everybody has. But again, the same problems that we're going to talk about is that everybody has more problems with the game than just was actually kind of displayed in Seaton's video. I have problems different to a lot of other players, and things that obviously what I'd like to be changed, you're not going to agree with. So that's something that I've really got to, and things that I've talked about in many videos. And that's something as well that people were kind of like picking up on, that I'm very much on the fence with a lot of the stuff. And obviously people haven't given the time to watch videos where I've said countless times stuff where I do not agree with what Kabam are doing. And they obviously won't listen to me, or haven't listened to me, because we still have Alliance Wars in place. We still have loads of different things. Solo events haven't been changed, and even though they're dog shit. And yeah, so many other things. Like, I could go on and on. Act 6.2 gates. Didn't like them. Have they been removed? No. So, you know, there again in lies a problem, that I am definitely making criticisms about Kabam, but obviously they're not listening to me, and obviously not listening to the summoners. Hence why we are now coming to a point where everybody is airing out a lot of these grievances, and especially in this general game feedback forum post. One thing I want to do is air out my frustrations and criticisms of the game. I think a lot of people have missed in some videos that I have said this, and whether or not they haven't watched the video entirely, but obviously I've put on screen for those that don't want to waste the time of listening to me, so you can pause it now and obviously check out what my current frustrations are in game. All of things that I have criticized the developer on in previous videos. So for those that go, I'm very much on the fence, let me tell you, I have criticized Kabam quite a bit. So let's go over some of these. So yes, I hate Alliance Wars Seasons, and it's disgusting game mode that just keeps getting worse. I hate having any champs that I want to use in endgame content locked in a queue that I want to use. I dislike a lot of the new champions being added to the game, and should be one a month and not two. The kits seem like at times don't match up with the stuff I need. I hate that Kabam guessed what I want as a player. I hate AQ and it balls the tits off me. Hence why I left my alliance for a month. I hate that there aren't more rank placements for those who lose out on arena plus milestones being not expanded better. I hate that mercs ruin the legitimate play of the game. I hate gating systems of 6.2 and so specific nature to lane clearing. I hate solo events not evolving. I hate that the game isn't optimized for those who have devices that aren't iOS or and are over 1 year old. I hate the older champions aren't brought up to the current meta. I hate long-term bugs like hitting to a block counter by special. That's not addressed and the AI being massively changed. I hate bugs that benefit the players are addressed quicker than ones that benefit Kabam. And obviously connection problems, that's something that seems to be a big problem for me when it comes to live streaming and other things as well. I don't think it's due to my internet when it comes to that, because the stream stays up still and I can play music at the same time. However though, and like I have said, and let me reiterate, I have said all of these things and more when it comes to criticizing the developer. So yeah, for those that are trying to pick up stuff about me being on the fence or maybe kind of like siding with Kabam on this, you aren't watching my videos, you aren't paying attention, so obviously throw a little bit of understanding my way, and obviously there you go, you have now got the information about what my current frustrations with the game. All of which have been conveyed in different ways to Kabam, and as well, just to point out as well for those that don't know, back a while ago, maybe a few years ago, I was told a rumour that apparently members of Kabam were saying that I am Kabam's or Marvel Contest of Champions biggest critic, which again was a very weird thing, and I still to this day do not know if it is true or not. However, I still enjoy the game. I think that's a thing for many players. They still enjoy the game, but they're passionate about positive change, which obviously is what has been brought up in the last 24 to 48 hours. Now you can pause the screen now and check out what I've had to say, but you know, other people have got better ideas than myself. I've actually kind of come up with the point of just going, look, with Alliance Quest, just get rid of it. Just start fresh. The same way that they did with Dungeons, just made incursions, and it was a case, it was just a refresh, something new. Alliance Quest is just repetitive, so it's got to be changed in its entirety. So basically, just to read out some of the stuff here, saying the problem with it is that it's repetitive. Snapping a new coat of paint on it, adding nodes, enhancements, honor is the same mistake as Alliance Wars has at the moment. My ideas obviously are these three. Come up with something new, maybe something similar to Incursions, where you can get buffs on the map, randomized buffs, accumulate buffs, and it's something you can use on the end boss. If that's too similar to Incursions, then look at something that is quick and snappy, like higher hit pools, smaller paths, better doubling up. Obviously, that's the point there, doubling up players. Limit down the nodes, improve the having to be available for certain times, obviously, because that's a big issue. And could always amalgamate Alliance Quest cycle into the event like that runs for 2 to 5 days, but rather than it's the same thing on repeat, that it's one complete quest. So like a champion challenge event that 10 people max from the battle group go on and expires after 5 days and has multipliers once you complete a route. 10 people go to the quest, do the route, it multiplies. Route 2 as a multiplier for, it's just basically saying it's like a champion challenge essentially that you as 10 players do as a battle group. And the main thing to really point out is it eliminates assignment paths, which I think is kind of a good thing, because I think that's one of the main things that for officers going like, oh, let's do path assignment, it's just like, just take away the kind of the crappy nature to this, because I'm like, it needs to go. Alliance Quest needs to go. In my personal opinion, Alliance Wars needs to go as well. They're boring, old, and just something new. Okay, so what I've done as well is I've put together some improvements I would like to see. Some of it in line with, I think, and again, this is the problem with assuming what everybody wants for the game. And these are things that I personally would like to see when it comes to improvements. Obviously, Alliance quests, we've covered that, about like freshening it up. Get rid of it, Alliance quest, some kind of Alliance-based participation. And as well, just to point out, Alliance-based events. When have we had the last Alliance-based event? I think the last one was back for the gifting event. Like, this needs to be about creating an environment to go, look, you want to be in an alliance because there's something there of an event that's going to make you work hard with your other 29 buddies. And that's the thing, that needs to be definitely done. But as well, there's other things like the free-to-play side of things. Champion acquisition, and obviously I've put here that that is the biggest issue. If there's so much of a restriction and frustration with Act 6 from a gating perspective, 5 stars availability, 6-star availability, and being able to smash through that content, then that definitely needs to be looked at. And especially with Nexus crystals, like, why aren't they more available? Because it gives you a chance to actually pick up something that would be a benefit to your roster, rather than going, hey, it's got to be premium. It doesn't have to be premium. These kind of things are, to a degree, quality of life. If you're being stung with grinding out arena, then it's a case you should have availability for something like that. So Kabam should make Nexus crystals more readily available to players. And especially from doing stuff like, it would be nice to say, like, at the end of an uncollected that you, I don't know, get 50% of a Nexus crystal. I'm sure people would be, you know, better off for that as opposed to anything else. Like, or maybe just change 5-star crystals to be 5-star Nexus crystals that you accumulate with shards. To be honest, that's a better idea for those that are free to play. This is a bit of an iffy one though. Revive availability at a lower cost. Now, that's a bit out there. I think that I'm not sure if players would really kind of get behind that. Is that too, and Kabam, would they ever get behind that? 20 units for a 20% revive in the store does cut down a lot of the cost aspect, especially, yeah, you could say that players will be going the 40% one and as well putting on a health potion. So, you know, you end up spending what, like 68 units a time to refresh. But it could be better to say that, right, well, wouldn't it be okay to say we'll spend 20 units, and it means that your spend on units is lower depending on obviously your skill and other variable things to that. I don't know, a bit of an out there suggestion. AI changes, I do think that the AI has to be changed a little bit. Especially with that kind of like hitting to block countered by specials and the way that maybe sometimes the game isn't optimized correctly for certain devices. Something that M struggles with. She uses a Samsung A9 and the performance and the just playability and the AI and the interaction is terrible. So that means that obviously it restricts her enjoyment of the game. But again, it could be something that a lot of players don't agree with. Arena. So I've been specific on this, and obviously it's something that isn't being really taken very seriously. And that is to change the 4-star basic arena to a 5-star basic arena with a milestone cap of about 2 mil to 2.5 mil that you can actually get a basic champion. So I know, again, it's something that I'm not sure a lot of players would agree with, and as well Kabam would not agree with. But again, this is all about quality of life stuff and going, right, well, if you've got... Kabam was saying, we can't do loads of arenas. Well, that's fine. Just change one of the arenas to represent the change with the 5-star basic. And as well, that is something that I think a lot of players would like to see. Gives more options to separate those arenas out. So therefore people going 5-star featured will then either go, okay, do I go 5-star featured or do I go to the 5-star basic arena? It means that we may be able to split the costs, and obviously the amount of point isn't ridiculously high, but also it's kind of like middle of the road. Maybe featured is going to be a lot more depending on the champion's build, but obviously you'll have that option to pick up a 5-star in any case by the so your time's not completely wasted. And as well, ramp up the milestones, which you know, I know there's meant to be the person that designed incursions. If you followed the channel when we covered Jack's kind of interview, that the guy who made incursions is going to be looking into arena. So you know, I'm all for that. And finally, Alliance Wars. I haven't really cultivated an idea for this because it is a case that whatever, you know, happens with Alliance Quest, you know, if they completely redo that, then what would they put in its place? Now, I'd love to see a raiding system put in that, or something that is basically very different to Alliance Wars being put in. And as well, Alliance Wars seasons obviously dramatically changed. As I said, I'm completely done with Alliance Wars. I'll do it, but I hate every second I'm doing it because I just don't think that it is, over the years, being fair, optimized correctly, built and expanded on correctly, and so many other things as well. So that's just like my 2 cents on like improvements that I would like to see. But again, my thoughts on improvements are going to be very different to you watching this video. So obviously it's up to you whether or not you would disagree with a lot of these things at the end of the day. And as well, it's up to Kabam to really kind of understand what the player base wants. That is going to be the next steps. Obviously, when it comes to like response to a lot of stuff going on, it looks like the Act 7 response in the future of the game mode has been responded to. So one of the things saying we want to use more positive feedback loops like buffs that deliver on satisfying damage spikes, a spike when the right moves are made. We also want to be more forgiving and such informative and less commonly used negative feedback loops similar to a combo of spike armor with dulled, which I think that's better than what you want to see, especially from the next iteration of content coming from Kabam. And obviously going a bit further on the stuff here, saying we're going to be more mindful and deliberate with our counterplay and encounter design. So lots of things need to be changed about that. Even saying here, you have invested or want to invest in more than just God tier or beyond God tier champions. While we can't promise story content that'll give you a reason to dust off your 2 stars or a better reason to chase X-Force Deadpool, we know that it gets stale only using the same 3 to 5 answers for everything. So obviously they're looking to change factors here from like I think a little bit RNG-ish, but you know, the stuff here saying we respect the investments players have made in their robots and their bleed champions and their buff-centric cosmic champions, and don't want them to feel like a waste of resources, which again is incredibly important. Which, let's face it, that's what players kind of feel a lot about, especially in the last like couple of days. It's really kind of come more out of the woodwork, but it has been over time about wasting resources, and especially the champion rebalancing of January of this year was just like a good indication of that. There's a lot more than that as well. We're still pouring over the awesome mountain of feedback we've been getting. There's a lot of information to absorb and work to be done. Yeah, because there's not really been a big answer to that forum post that was created a couple of days ago, so we'll have to wait a little bit longer. But it's good to know they're listening, but you know, we need to have definite answers to things. Regardless if it's Act 7, I have skimmed through this, but I just don't want to make this video too long. So yeah, the point of putting out this video, I don't know if Kabam are going to answer some of the key aspects of what people want. I'm sure that they will miss off a lot of players when it comes to getting exactly what you watching this video actually want from the game, and obviously Kabam to facilitate. Yeah, I hope that I've as well kind of been clear on a lot of factors, and as I said, I've put a transcript of this, or kind of like notes from this particular video, because I just want to make it clear on what I personally feel needs to be addressed, what maybe that could or could not in line with people, how I gather a lot of the information to find out maybe the opinions of players and how things are going on, and how obviously things have changed with what people want from say a week ago, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago to where we are now. But obviously it's all relevant, and yeah, everybody's problem or issue needs to be considered, especially if we want to feel happy and content that, you know, Kabam are developing a decent enough game for us as players, and as well the future looks better. So, you know, we'll be hopeful, but at the same time we need an answer which could come today, tomorrow, or Monday, or some point next week. We'll have to see, but if I get any more information, I'll let you know as soon as possible. And finally, I want to give thanks to everybody for their feedback on that video. Obviously criticisms to myself and stuff that I'll try as best I can to learn from. And yeah, thanks again for watching this video. Hopefully it wasn't too long. It's probably about 20 minutes, so apologies about that, but I have hopefully time coded it and put out a transcript, so hopefully that helps out some people as well, so they don't feel like, oh, he's just going on about something. So thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye bye for now.